I saw a gym teacher, dude. Okay, so it was a compilation of gym teachers fighting their students, and this gym teacher was really loud, and the kid was really loud.
How late at night was this shit?
Why are you 10 a.m. in the morning? I was watching this.
Oh, you deep in the YouTube rabbit hole.
And the kid was a black kid. It was a white gym teacher, and the kid was just like every time he would say something, he would say, "You know what up, and he kept saying that to the gym teacher, and the gym teacher was like, "Don't call it." I was like, and the whole class just went completely silent for like 15 seconds. Mike. Oh, is this okay? The whole class went silent for like 15 seconds. It was just like horrific to watch this guy. Like he had no idea what the fuck was going on. And that was probably the end of his teaching career.
So he just started saying it? That was probably the start of his cop career. Damn, what occupation can I do and still be racist?
He became a warden at a prison after that. You know,
this is perfect.
What is your resume? Well, in front of 30 other kids, I yelled the N-word.
Oh, yeah. You are perfect. Send him straight to D Block.
Anyway, I don't know what part of the podcast this is, but welcome to Crash Dummies podcast.
This could be the intro. Actually, this can't be the intro. We don't want to get demonetized. But this is the intro. That means we're doing it off the love, but it's not.
We got Tommy G here. I hate when people like give a whole backstory for somebody else, so you can tell people a little bit about yourself. Because I don't want to just say, "Oh, the guy that made the Kia Boyz documentary." You're so much more than that. So give a little backstory.
I am a documentary filmmaker known for some of the craziest documentaries on YouTube. And just having a fucking... Oh, can I swear on this?
Yeah, you're good.
Having a fantastic time doing life and actually having a career I love and finding the wildest ideas, most interesting people, and doing videos with those folks and telling their story.
Yep.
And y'all finally get to see Key. This is what Key looked like. I told you. He
Fuck you up.
You know, Key, with me, he team YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And with that audio listener bullshit y'all be on. Welcome to Crash Dummies podcast again. If you're a broke nigga, too bad. We got Tommy G here in the building. I got a couple questions for you, Tommy G.
Yes.
So the first one, I want to know, how did it feel getting rejected by a prostitute? I saw that on the thing. I was like, damn.
It was frustrating, dude. I'm like, how are these saggy ass motherfucking old white guys pulling up, having no problems getting their wiener touched? And I'm not even asking for a wiener touch. I just want a conversation. I'm still getting denied. It was, it took my confidence down a little bit.
No, I was like, damn, why are they doing that? I'm like, but now I get it now. Because you dress like an undercover cop. That's what it is. And then, like, if you like pulled out a gun on me right now, I'd be like, I knew it. But you also cool as fuck, so you'd be a really good undercover cop.
And we were driving around LA with 3 people in a car, 1 camera. My guy Keegan, his name is Keegan. If that's not another cop name, I don't know what it is. Like when Keegan started filming with me, like I remember before he went to the most dangerous city in America, we went to a porn convention. He dressed like he worked for Northwestern Mutual. And I'm like, buddy, when we go to St. Louis, like let's
tone it down a little bit.
So the next day he showed up in a tracksuit. I'm like, oh, my guy.
Hey, there you go. A porn convention, just skip right over that shit. I love it.
How was that?
It was fantastic, dude. Like, these women, I think you just want to say, oh, they're just a bunch of bimbos taking wiener all day. But a lot of them are very smart. They're very adventurous. They're very cool people.
And then take wiener all day.
Mm-hmm. and some vagina.
Oh, yeah. Okay. True.
Yeah. So, smart and still a whore.
So, wait. So when you at the porn, when you at the porn convention, did they have any like the cartoon porn people like there on a screen?
Bro, watch out.
Like anime bullshit?
Yeah, like the hentai.
No, you know this dude always want to see Bart Simpson.
No,
you know what?
Because there's a whole category for that.
When I see that shit, my red flags go off, and I think my brain instantly phases it out. Like, don't go near this booth.
That's crazy.
Were there booths like that there?
I can't remember. All I know is that there were a fair amount of there was people that would stand like 100 deep in a line to see a certain adult porn star, and I'm just thinking, like, what man pays $100, whatever the entry fee was, to stand in line to like, I appreciate your work, thanks for helping me jack off 4 times a day. It's just so weird to me.
That's what you think, but I like saw a TLC thing of like somebody having a porn addiction, and the real porn people, they don't whack off to that shit. You wonder why if you ever clicked on a porn video, they don't get straight to it. It's like a movie scene. Because them niggas start complaining like, hey, what's all this like getting straight to it? We want them niggas sit down and watch the whole thing.
They want a good plot.
Bro, there's actual niggas like you've ever been
Nah, watching the plot of a porn is crazy.
They do, bro. Why you think it's there? Bro, when obviously when you younger, bro, why the fuck they got a comment section? Like these niggas be commenting like great video, love her work. Like, no, she's not an actress, my nigga.
She's a whore.
The plot can be done in, let's just say, 3 minutes or less, and it's well done, I'll watch it. But when it's a 15-minute plot line, like I'm like, this isn't Steven Spielberg.
No, that's crazy.
They have a backstory. It's crazy. If you watching a porn and it does like a little flashback scene, it's like, what are you
Remember
watching?
you fucked Jessica?
Before I was your stepmom, I was just Linda.
No, that's just a porn convention is crazy. 3 white guys riding around for a prostitute sounds like a porn scene.
We were considering diversifying our business into the OnlyFans, but we decided against it.
That's very good. That's very good. What is something that you learned that you didn't know that you would learn when you started doing documentaries?
I would have thought that if I was introduced to a fentanyl dealer, that I would think he's a total piece of shit. But I found out this is a guy I would invite over for dinner because I actually like the guy.
Yeah, niggas got feelings. That's what I'm saying. Like, people would be getting mad at murders. Like, nigga, he didn't murder you. Like, I think he's still a good guy.
I guess the line between good and evil is what I've reconsidered. Is like, oh, this guy's all right. Like, I know he does some things that really hurt society and aren't good for society, but like I just FaceTimed him the other day and he's like, hey, have you thought about doing this story? Like, look into the smiley face murder in Chicago. Like, I can take you around. I'm like, cool. Like, he's just a cool guy.
How do you find these people?
A lot of it is just DMs, incoming DMs. Because we'll put at the end of every episode, we'll put it like, looking for a Ku Klux Klan member, looking for a Miami baller.
Hey, how many DMs did you get with the KKK members?
Looking for a KKK member and then like getting a call from like your cousin or something. Like, hey, Tommy.
My grandpa calls me. I'm like, what the hell? I've gotten one lead on the Ku Klux Klan, and it was a guy that just says, I know where they meet, and I've taken pictures of them.
He finna set you up.
He is a member.
He is a member. He said, I know where they meet.
He's like, hey, I got to end this call early. Got to go to the dry cleaners with my robe. You know?
Nah, find out your friends in the KKK.
You just see a bunch of wooden crosses in this basement. What the fuck?
It's either a satanic ritual or they don't like black people.
Or both.
No, in fact, it gotta be both. I feel like if you're white and satanic, you gotta be racist. Like, that shit goes together, right?
Dude, I feel like the average satanic person I've seen on Instagram is like a really woke white person.
Seriously?
Yeah, like they want, if the fucking Christians put up a statue in front of the thing, they want a Lucifer statue. They just want to balance out the Christians.
What does a Lucifer statue even look like?
Oh, that's crazy.
Goat eyes and horns.
Yeah.
Just evening shit out. I feel like that'd be good.
Yeah.
If we were just like that. America just even shit out. Black kid get killed by the cops. Hey. Let's go to an elementary in the suburbs real quick. Let's even the score.
I think the white kids are doing enough of that.
Where's Johnny?
Johnny's at the school with a rifle. Dude.
No, that's crazy. They need to definitely change that law, though. 100%.
So did you ever meet with a KKK member?
Not that I know of.
So you never did that video?
I'm still looking.
Yeah.
I got a little. I guess
This is where privilege really comes into play, right?
You're going to dress differently. Just like how you have to dress differently from the hood. I feel like you can't go into a KKK meeting because all you're going to hear is, who the fuck is this, Logic?
You gonna put on a suit? I mean, the Klansman hood.
Nah, Tommy, you can't do that for the content, Tommy. Nah. You can't do it for the content.
You can't do that.
I'm supposed to be experiential. So
Nah, Tommy.
maybe I won't put on the robe, but like I'll start the cross on fire.
Yeah, okay.
You got to see what property is at first.
They gonna try to sneak it on him when he's not looking.
That's all you got. They're going to initiate your ass. You see that little
You think they get jumped into being the KKK? Or just say, hey, I want to join?
I feel like the initiation into the KKK is you have to go into a public place and yell the N-word as loud as you can. And if you do that, you're in.
Nah, I feel like you got to eat a whole jar of mayonnaise. Something white. He believes. Eat an egg salad at noon.
Tommy, I saw you that you're a triplet.
Yes.
You're a triplet?
Yeah.
Whoa.
What's the
2 boys and a girl.
That's dope.
Ben, Tom, and Rose.
and Tommy?
No, he is Tom.
I know.
Yeah.
You said Ben.
Tom and Rose.
Oh, I didn't hear the Tom.
Like stupid as fuck.
2 times.
I'm trying to focus on the interview and not bickering back and forth like we usually do, but you're trying me today.
Dude, my parents would be shit if they made quadruplets and named 2 of them Tom and Tommy. That'd be really disappointing.
That'd be fire.
How was it like growing up as triplets though?
I would say on one end, really competitive, especially when we got into school age, because we were a lot of times in the same classes. So it was like, oh, what'd you get on this test? Oh, I got an A and I got a B. So it was all, we pushed each other a lot. But then it was a lot of fun too. Like we always were like running around at the pond and catching snapping turtles and doing like kid shit. You know, I feel like I grew up in that right era where we didn't live off the iPad. Like we still knew what the before internet life was, but we also learned the internet.
Man, you just pissed like 15 niggas off. You're on the iPad right now, scrolling to another app. Man, fuck that nigga. Now, you're right, though. We grew up in the right era. This new age, bruh. I don't never want to turn into an old head.
Yeah.
But these niggas tripping.
Did you guys ever get in like fights as kids? Not with each other. I'm talking about because I always think about like you have triplets, right? There's 3 of y'all already, and y'all have different friends and shit like that. Was there ever a situation where it's like a school fight and all y'all had to get involved?
We had one really big fight where me and my brother had to fight. So it was like 5 fifth graders. No, 8 fifth graders versus like 4 eighth graders on a pond. So it was a frozen pond. It was an ice brawl, and we were fucking going at it, dude. Like there was knees, there was punches, and I think like the tide turned when I was just starting wrestling at that point, and one of the older kids from the wrestling team showed up, and then boom, like we had 1 8th grader on our side, and we sent like their leader home crying with 1 shoe on in the snow, and then we went home and I told my pop about it, and he ordered us pizza, and like we had just a fun. It was like a war story time.
Yeah, niggas think they on a Game of Thrones or some shit. They sent their leader off. They went home and celebrated.
How you get on a pond, a frozen pond with all them people?
It was really thick ice, man. It worked out.
Nigga was fighting Victor Sweet.
It was like 100 feet from my house. We just had a pond in someone's backyard, and they would have hockey rinks on it, and we'd go like ice. Well, we wouldn't ice fish, but people would cut holes, and you'd see someone that was ice fishing.
No, I feel like white people would definitely trust frozen ponds more than God.
100%.
Because I could never step on a frozen pond. I don't care. They're like, oh no, I see people driving their cars out there and shit like that. I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
That's crazy. I get like, it's about where you grow up. Like to ice fish, yeah, I'd rather sell weed. Just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd get into a drug dealing game. You'd be like, oh, you want to ice fish? Like, nah, nigga, I feel like I could do something better with my time. Can't put my finger on it. But
Hey, have you ever caught a pike before?
A pike, yeah.
Well, then what the fuck, dude? Isn't that way cooler than selling weed?
No.
And it take you 4 hours to do this shit.
I know. I saw a dude. I was walking. I saw a dude walking from the lake. And I was like, it's always that funny question I like to ask. Like, yo, you catch any fish? Even though he had no fish in his hand, and he was like, nah. he was like, nah, I didn't catch any. It's just like to leave a place without catching a fish.
It's depressing.
No, like, bro, have some drive. Like, stay there till you catch a fish.
Especially when they set up a tent. It's like they're like make like a little home on the ice, and they're just there with like a thermometer, like a depth checker. Like some people get really into it. I went once to my friend that ice fishes, and it was like we caught 1 big fish, and then it was so cold that you would take the fish out, it froze within 20 seconds of putting it on the ice.
Sheesh.
And I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough. I've seen a fish be caught now.
Every ice fisher hate their wives. Some niggas hate their life. They don't want to go home.
They just throw a dip in, and they're like, goddamn wife.
Imagine that. Let me take this picture real quick. Everybody by the circle.
So, Tom, you did you grow up in Milwaukee? Mm-mm. Where'd you grow up?
Crystal Lake, Illinois.
I know where that's at.
You know where that is.
Yeah. So when you moved to Milwaukee, because you did the Kia Boyz documentary, like,
I sure did.
What kind of like gave you the idea to do that in the first place? Because obviously there was a big, fiasco with people's Kias getting stolen. So how'd you even go about finding these people?
I'm just always intrigued by the outlaws of society. Like if someone's doing crazy shit, I want to talk to them about it. And then it just so happened I was transitioning from pranks into the documentary space. Like I just was doing that porn documentary, strip club documentary. I did something where I jumped out of a plane eating the world's spiciest chip. These were all in my like a list of ideas that could change my life. And I had interviewed the Kia Boyz. I just didn't know who to talk to. I didn't have a connection. And then when one guy reached out and was like, "Hey, I got a guy for you," he was like, "Let's do it."
What I like is like you can progressively see you getting tougher as your series go on. The first one you were walking around like this, how are you? What are your name? And then by the third, you was like, "What's up, bitch?" You was talking to a pimp in the car. You was like, "What if your daughter was a hoe?" Huh? How would you feel about that?
Do you feel like I was asking him some risky questions?
No, that was crazy. Like if I knew a camera was there, I wouldn't even be mad at the question, but I like smack you up just because the camera was right. What you talking about? Just to look tough. Like that was a crazy ass question.
I felt like it was a well-deserved question.
No, 100%.
Like this guy was kind of a fucking piece of shit.
No, 100%. Well, after the money question, you asked him, you were like, "Hey, how much of the money do you give to the girls?" And he was like, "None."
And then he said he's bossing them up.
0%? I didn't see this video.
0%. And then basically whatever they ask for, they buy. But back to his point, they dumb as fuck. So they don't know what they want. So when they come to him and they made $20,000 in a month and they come to him and say, "Hey, I want these $5,000 shoes." And then he like, "I see what I can do." And then he comes with that at the end of the month. If I only give you stuff monthly, I'm making $15,000 profit and all you doing is asking for extra clothes for money. Like shit like, bruh. And you got about 5 girls, you making $100,000 by not doing anything. You probably getting in 3 scuffles a year to go help your girl out.
I interviewed an LAPD detective, and he said that most of the pimps he met are absolutely broke and pathetic people. So, like, there's, like, the 1%ers that are, like, the iceberg slims, the fucking really making it happen pimps. But most of them are just, like, living in their mom's house and have 2 gross chicks that they're, like, leasing out their ass cheeks for whatever, $50 an hour.
Yeah, it's that movie. What's that movie Terrence Howard was in?
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow. That's what he was doing. He was a broke ass pimp. That's the whole point of the movie. Nigga broke as fuck. Terrence Howard, man. Come on, man. So after doing all those interviews, obviously, how do you feel? Like, what's your next venture going to look like? So where are you going next?
We're going to Miami. There's a few different people that we're linking up with. So one is Trapland Pat, who's associated with BLP Kosher. If you guys are familiar with that Jewish rapper. With
I saw
crazy
a video with Tron, baby Tron.
That was fire.
Oh yeah.
That video's so fire.
And if Kosher is in town, he'll be in that video too. We're going to do inside the life of young Miami millionaires. So go to people that have Lamborghinis and businesses and hit the nightlife. We're doing 100 Miles of Hell, an ultra marathon documentary. And then there's this guy on his Instagram, he goes by Hood Fishing. So he has grills in, but he'll fucking catch a hog or he'll catch bass. So like we're going to just go on an Everglades adventure with this guy.
Oh, that's so fire.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Just like the concept of that is viral already.
Yeah. And there's a 2.5% chance that we'll get a Kodak Black adventure too.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
We have one of his artists, Lil Cricks, we did a video with. It was fantastic. We had a good time. And it's just one of those things that if Kodak feels like it and you just have to have your phone on at 2 a.m. And if he calls you or calls Cricks to call Tommy to get that fucking idiot over here, I have to be like, okay, I'm going to get fucking over here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like hey, Kodak, Tuesday at 3 p.m. No, it's just fucking when he calls you, you go.
Yeah. That's what it always say. That's talent though. People always say I would never do that, but they just don't have it. Like I don't have the talent to do that. A nigga calling me at 2 a.m. You give a fuck if it's God. Call me up there if you want me to.
Exactly. I'm a pussy at 2 a.m. Like when I wake up at 2 a.m., I'm not really feeling like anything. Like it's even if Kodak Black calls me, it's still gonna be like, fuck, dude. Like, can we do this tomorrow?
You know, he the type to say no though.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like different artists like that, but that's why they don't have that many like interviews and documentaries on them because they just like kind of like that free spirit. Like if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not.
What was like one documentary you felt like I might die?
A few of them. I mean, recently we were in Phoenix and I wasn't scared during any of the thing, but just the amount of times that a gun went past our line or our body, it was just like, what the fuck, guys?
What were you in Phoenix doing? That's kind of a wild place to like to be in danger for some reason. I don't associate Phoenix with any.
Everybody got a hood, though.
Yeah, I know. I just never associated it.
So
with it.
these guys rolled really deep, but if you look around, it didn't look like the hood. It looked like the suburbs, and so, but they had like 15 guys with guns, and they were pulling them up and doing all this kind of shit. I would say getting raided by Mexican police was definitely the scariest. Getting fucking told like, get on the fucking ground, masks on, rifles out. That was the scariest.
What happened there?
We were interviewing a guy named Hostage, and he was a.
I'm not interviewing no nigga.
His name's Hostage.
He trained to go.
It's like that barber that got mad that finesse 2 times didn't pay for his haircut. Nigga finesse. Don't let that nigga come back next time, or it's gonna be finesse 2 times. So go.
Well, the thing was, we were just asking him about police brutality, and I was like, "Hey, man, like in America, it's been a huge topic of discussion. We've had George Floyd in 2020. We've had all these different things. Where now it's a really part of our conversation as a country. What do you think about police brutality?" And he started laughing in my face, and then like 5 minutes later, the police kick in our door, beat the shit out of one of the guys, and like keep us on the ground for like 10, 15 minutes. So I was like, there are levels to this game.
Ain't that crazy? It's so easy to get your ass beat by the police. All you got to do is flinch the wrong way as they punch you. Imagine never being punched by somebody that you couldn't punch back, and you like 30, and it's your first interaction with the police, and they come up to you, put the cuffs on you, and then punch you in your back. Your first reaction is to turn around and look at them, and they take offense to that and start beating your ass more. Like,
Would you rather take your chances with American police or Mexican police?
American
for sure.
At least I know at the end of the day, if everything go wrong, I'll at least be a hashtag, and niggas at least know my story. Mexico, nigga, you might not hear about yourself again. They gonna be beheaded.
Yeah, I definitely take chance with American. At least you know, like you can end up in jail, and that's like the worst that can probably happen if you don't do anything crazy. But Mexican, yeah, it's just like I don't know the laws over there, so it's like
They make them up as
is
they
that
go.
That's what I'm saying. When those Mexicans kidnapped, I guess they wasn't a part of the cartel, but when those Mexicans kidnapped those people, the girl and the 3 guys, when she was going over there to get surgery, the Mexican cartel just wrote a letter back apologizing, saying these dudes ain't part of the cartel, and that was it.
They killed them, right?
Yeah, they killed the dudes they killed. I think they did something to the dudes that did it, but it was just able that they just even if they was or wasn't. They
it's
just
like criminals already say, "Nah, this wasn't us, though."
This wasn't us. Here go a letter apologizing, and we handled it for you.
But you know, it's the thing, like the honor amongst thieves and stuff like that. It did seem like a super, super reckless thing. Like, you know, it's like, what business are they having kidnapping some random people?
Yeah,
I feel like they were there for a little bit more than a BBL surgery.
Yeah.
That was the story I read. That they were kind of hustling and doing some transactions. And I don't know if they tried to fuck the cartel, which doing that in Mexico is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise that. But I think the cartel is like, if you touch an American, we don't want that attention.
Yeah.
So they just tied those guys up, wrote the note, and let them get arrested.
Yeah.
no, that's insane. And yeah, that whole situation is shame. So yeah, they must have just going riding through there. If they show you where they ride, that's like the Mexican. They was in the hood. Like, you ain't getting no directions. Me no go, motherfucker. Like, stay here, nigga.
Oh man.
All right, let's rewind back to the Kia Boyz.
Kia Boyz.
Okay, since we're in Milwaukee, I feel like we owe it just a little bit more attention.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think about just what do you think about the Kia Boyz? What do you actually? Everybody knows what the Kia Boy is. How do you think we stop the Kia Boyz?
That's a huge question. I would say a few things. If I was benevolent dictator of Milwaukee, one thing I would do is create a state-of-the-art wrestling, boxing, jiu-jitsu facility and invite tons of youth into it. And I think you have to get these kids motivated by things that are difficult, challenging, and hold them accountable, because I think they don't have that in their life. There's no structure. There's no one I think a lot of these kids there's no adults at the house, and they're kind of running things on their own. And I think to put them in an environment where they're actually challenged and tested that's important for any human. But I think that's really important for the Kia Boyz. I would say there's got to be consequence. You can't just have a slap on the wrist after stealing someone's shit like that. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, I heard it was 3 weeks. They was getting out in 3 weeks.
That's bullshit.
Crazy.
And I guess you can stack it up. Like, this is the thing. We want to avoid mass incarceration. That's a recipe in this country that we've tried. It clearly doesn't work. And so we have to pursue other options. But it shouldn't be open season to these kids to not give a shit if they are potentially ruining somebody's life. If you don't have insurance, your car gets stolen, you can't go to work, your life dominoes in a really dangerous direction. And then not only dominoes that one person's life, but let's say that person that got their car stolen, they get evicted. And now all of a sudden, any stability that was in that block, that's getting reshuffled too. And then it's just this ripple effect. Then the kids that were at that house, they have to get put into a new school system. Now they have to make friends again. So it just uproots community one domino at a time.
Right.
And we can't have that. But I'm curious, what would you guys do if you were dictator of Milwaukee to stop the Kia Boyz? What would you do?
So I actually have a family member that was doing that type of shit. And
call that nigga Kia Boy. He talking about that nigga's case still open, so he was just.
I gotta be discreet.
He was around them niggas.
You're about to say his social security number or something?
My cousin Darius Hunter the Fifth. Go ahead.
But with him, cause his family has stability type shit, and they're always on his ass, but he still doesn't care. And I feel like with kids nowadays, in our generation, people just don't give a fuck. You got people spitting on people's graves, having sex on people's graves. You got people doing a whole bunch of shit.
Who's doing that?
That's
I've seen that.
That's very unsanitary.
Yeah, bro.
To have you're hurting yourself more than.
I think you are bringing something up really important though. Is I've heard the use nihilistic be used a lot. Kids that just don't give a shit about themselves, about other people. How have we gotten to this point, and what's the way forward to get these kids to care?
It's too late. The internet, bro, you can literally, it's over for us. I don't know why niggas still got hope. I hate that shit. It's bro, you can, what's the word, desensitize?
Yeah.
Everything. You can go find any website and you can just see all the people that's been killed on camera for the last month. Mm-hmm. And it's I just seen 5 people get shot in the head. The reason why we grew up, because you actually have to be around that shit. I actually, when I first saw a dead body, but how many dead bodies have you seen in your life? Even if you're a killer, you're not a good killer if you see dead bodies. Nigga, why you still there? You thought it's a nigga dead yet? But
you trying to get rid of it. What did you
But I'm just saying, people can look at all this stuff and they think, oh, that shit nothing. All these people beating up teachers, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm on the internet and I seen 10 videos, kids beating up teachers and the kid look cool as hell on video, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of dope. And the teacher take my phone today, and I'm like, bitch, you know what?
I think it's also just social media in general, where it kind of awards you for stuff like that. Whereas if I'm seeing stealing a car and whipping it left and right on camera, that shit look cool. Those websites. I'm not saying it's their fault or anything, but
that shit look dope as fuck.
The Hype House page and stuff like that.
I'm gonna get featured.
Yeah. So it's oh, we do this, we're gonna get on, and it's again, there's no consequence. They spent a day in jail, not even a day. It's because they're minors. Because the other side of it is obviously we don't want to be if they steal a car, they get fucking 3 years in jail and shit like that, because then you never know what can be happening with these kids and these cops and planting cars. They could be planting cars in the hood for them to actually steal, to put them in jail, stuff like that.
They do that.
It's a very a pedestal what's a balance beam you kind of have to walk across. It's very
no, that's tough as fuck.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's I don't know the real answer. I think if there's a way not to make it look cool, that's probably the way. Yeah, because nobody wants to do anything that you look corny doing. If we especially us as adults, it's no, that shit's lame. I feel like kids look up to older adults for those type of things. Oh, am I cool? Am I corny right now?
But it's coming from the top though. If the rappers that get famous are the ones that's actually living their raps, it's just if I'm in that life and I'm a rapper, bro, how many J. Cole's and Kendricks do you see? Very rare, right?
It feels like that era of rap is drying up.
It is gone. Nobody wants to hear that you was horny at your school desk. My bad, J. Cole. I ain't no diss. But don't nobody want to hear that shit no more.
Conscious rap is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
They literally got to go jump on Sway in the Morning or LA Leakers for conscious rap to come back, and it's only in that format of somebody a long-winded rap. It's not that much attention on conscious rap albums, where people bumping it on
Who
the radio.
you consider conscious artists?
Would you consider JID somewhat on that, or is he more just lyricist?
I feel like
He's
he's more
conscious.
lyrics.
Because he's got
It's like-
crazy amount of Spotify listeners, and he's got wordplay, but they're few and far between. I feel like we're in a shock culture era where you have to be the guy that's fucking pointing 17 machine guns at the camera while burning down a school, and it's like, and then pretend like you don't care, you know?
No. Because it's entertainment.
He had a machine gun.
I had the machine gun.
Props
like
there,
this.
props though.
Props, yeah. Props.
Come get this nigga, man. No, that shit. It's tough because also you're saying to the people that's at the top or the people that's about to make it, like even somebody like Key, you're telling me, hey, bro, don't feed your family, even though nobody else is gonna come with you. Nobody else is gonna stop using their guns, but we want you to stop. And that's how every rapper are looking at each other like, these niggas not stopping and they getting millions of dollars. So why the fuck would I stop?
Yeah.
But going back to the Kia Boyz thing too, but there was like you got a little backlash from that too, because I think after you did your documentary, some of them got arrested or quote unquote.
They said that when they posted the picture side by side. I'm skeptical. Yeah, I don't like. I would admit, oh, that was Mr. E-Break. Yeah, that's Mr. E-Break. Yeah, but it wasn't fucking Mr. E-Break.
Yeah. So did you see these people? Like, do you see them under? Because you know they had masks. First of all, their cover ups were terrible. Like
Mr. E-Break had a ski mask the whole time, and then we had to give the kid in the like brown and whatever North Face, we had to give him something. The other kids I didn't even see. What I think happened is the police wanted to have a good public image that we're cleaning up the streets. So I bet that car had been passed around amongst a few people.
Yeah.
And they had a guy that also had touched that car at some point. Like maybe it was the buddy that they saw later in that day or the day before, had his fingerprints. But like honestly, when you watch that video, do you see the mugshot that they put? Do you see that kid in the video?
Not that I know. Not that I remember. I remember you posted that and then you like said that's not him. That's all I kind of remember from there.
And the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel is kind of working on a hit piece about this too. Like, and it's just bullshit. Like, I don't know. Nothing. Like these are all kids that have been really active. Like when I read the transcript, the kid that got caught, he got caught because he got caught in another car, and then he said on the jail phone, "Yeah, I also drove the red Elantra." And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like. You know,
you're telling on yourself.
I mean, nigga sounds stupid to me.
But what I do think is messed up is they said the kid's looking at 22 years.
Nah,
damn.
Which that is a fucking crazy amount of time for a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah,
17 is crazy.
For stealing cars?
Stealing cars, that's it.
I think he stole 6 or 7. They got
still 6 or 7,
but
22
still 22 years. That's insane.
For
that's
stealing
ridiculous.
a car?
I agree. What do you guys think is a proper?
A spanking. No, I'm kidding.
Like anything
man.
under 5 years?
No, 5 years is crazy too. He's 17.
17.
Like, bruh, it gotta be.
The thing about the
thing about
it has to be scary enough where they don't want to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
The thing about if they really want to help people, they were like, oh, obviously this is like creating more jobs. They would make it like a school. So like, okay, you got a felony when you were 17 or 16 or 15. You have to go through this program. And every time you fail this program, if you're a juvenile, you're going to stay here. And if you stay here, we're going to give you to a certain marker. If you can't pass this certain type of test, this psychological test, by this time, then you're going to serve this jail sentence.
It's got to be carrot or the stick. You gotta lead them with the carrot and like have them go towards a good direction. But if they don't follow along with the program, well, hey, this is the other option.
They're like, oh shit, he's 19, he was a dick the whole time. Throw him in there.
So what would you guys do in my shoes when let's just say they do drop a hit piece? I don't know if it's going to be bad, but just by the way that they sounded on the phone,
they're dropping a hit piece on you?
I think that's my gut. They're working with a guy that's my gut reaction. I think they're working on a hit piece. So and maybe not. But let's just say it does come out that way. Like, oh, Tommy G responsible for this kid getting 22 years. How would you guys respond to that?
I would be like, show me, show me the proof that I did this directly.
I think also just be prepared for it anyway. Just like you even knowing that you have it now, you can literally have a response in your head that you can literally. Because the thing I think sometimes when people get hit pieces dropped on them is like their response time. It lags a little bit because one, they're probably thinking about things on the fly and they might be missing some information, some contradicting things. You already have that information in your head. You know who you kind of actually interview, but it's kind of hard because for you to like prove you're right, you got to like reveal names of people that are actually in the videos and stuff like that.
I don't think so. I think you take your video skills. I think you put together your own, investigate yourself. have your a self-investigation and just be like, I did this on this date, this date, this date. He went to jail this date, but he went to jail for this. I investigated this. I have this information, and have that video literally sitting, waiting. As soon as they drop their hit piece, you drop the response video.
I don't know if there's that much to say. Like, this is the thing. I'm guessing it's likely that he is friends with some of those guys in the video.
Yeah, which is Milwaukee small.
And so, like, I don't know what I do about that. Like, what do I have to say? Like,
what do you think their angle is going to be on you? Like, you're the reason, or are you like you're hyping this up? Because they would have to come with stats like the Kia thefts increase after the documentary dropped.
But like he said on he has a video where he fakes where you about to stop YouTubing, and it's just like a fake thing. But in the video, it shows his competitors about like he wasn't the first person to report on the Kia Boyz.
Yeah,
the reason you found the Kia Boyz because you saw the shit on the news every day.
and I saw them driving all the time.
Who gave them? You weren't the first person to give them the name, the Kia Boyz. That's why the reason your video picked up so much traction is because everybody knew all this information about it, but you were the first one to just be like...
I actually went on the ground and reported about it.
And you didn't just stay in the hood and just be like, oh, look at the Kia Boyz, haha. You were like, in the video, you're like, man, he shouldn't be doing this. You were talking to adults around the neighborhood. How can we stop it? You were talking to people around the neighborhood. How can we stop it? You interview them at the gas station. A lady who's affected by it, she was in like some beater car because... her real car, she didn't have insurance on, and you see she got kids in the back. She had 3 kids. So these same kids is 14. That's if you're 13, 14 in high school, you're taking away some money out of somebody or one of your classmates because that's their mom's car you stole, and like you said, it's a domino effect.
I think the most likely accusation someone can say about me is that my video caused the cops to look into it harder to show because they got exposed. That they said, well, we can't just look like we're doing nothing about it. We have to do something. So we're going to try and find something that makes it look like the city's getting a little safer.
Yeah. I can see it.
But it's like, it's also it's thing you kind of, you want it to be safer too. That's the other thing.
The other thing is this. I'm not here to say, like, I'm not a judge. I'm not, and especially not a Supreme Court justice. We can go in that direction. Those motherfuckers aren't too clean themselves. But, like, I can't decide what happens to a Kia boy. All I know is this. In my interaction, like I kept in touch with Mr. Ebrake for a little bit after that video. I tried to get him connected to HVAC opportunities. A Black Panther tried to reach out to him, and he just clowned on that guy. So, like, I tried to see if I could use that moment to connect him to another step.
Yeah. And
he just wasn't in the right place to be there.
I also think one thing that's, like, a little bit different because, you know, some people can compare it to, like, you know, Adam 22 or even somebody like Academics, what he was doing early on in his career. Your car could actually get stolen by a Kia. Like, you're in Milwaukee. Like, your car can actually get stolen by a Kia boy. Like, you could possibly be a victim.
My old girlfriend had her car stolen by a Kia boy, and I helped her look for it.
That's what I'm saying. You're in it. You know, it's not to say you're not obviously on that side of Milwaukee where, like, some of those kids are, but you're still in the city. It's kind of different. Like, I'm
not going to say where in the city I live, but I see kids in shiesties.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what
you're in the city. Like Milwaukee, if you've never been to Milwaukee, it's super segregated. You could live in a dope neighborhood, jog down the block 4 blocks, and it's the hood.
100%.
Like it just happens like that. That's how Milwaukee is. So in a sense, like, it's different when you're reporting on something that you're actually living in. Like, I live, and then you took probably a 5-minute drive home after you fucking reported on it.
Closer than I would like.
Yeah. It's a big ass difference than like Adam 22 or any of these other guys who, you know, where they're like guys, white guys,
something,
or guys that are like never been to that like part of the hood. Like Academics used to report on Chicago, and people like, you never been here, so why is you reporting?
I think there's a couple of distinctions between me and those guys. One is that if you look at my portfolio on YouTube, I think I have one of the most diverse ranges of content. Like, we're working on a piece about Muslims during Ramadan. We're working about a piece in homeless community in Phoenix, like street beefs, all these different little ideas. So to say, like, I'm a hood vlogger, that's what I'm most known for. Like, the Kia Boy videos is my biggest videos today. Mm-hmm. But I'm not, and all the other thing is I don't stoke up shit. Like, anywhere I go, any neighborhood, I'm never like, oh, you're beefing with so-and-so? Talk some shit to stir it up further. I never talk about beef in any of the videos I do. So my job is this. My job is to get people stories, people that either most of the time reach out to me to do it. And I think I position people very fairly. I never edited someone to look stupid. I just ask them questions, have some humanity. Like one piece of blowback I got from the videos that I was laughing too much with the Kia Boyz, and it was like, they're kids.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't care anything you say right now is somebody that's saying they don't give a fuck. I guarantee you, it's somebody that's like, bro, like what I told me and him go through it. Like he had to stop me yesterday. I told a nigga die slow. Let's still die slow, nigga. But it's just someone got me off my square, and I just realized no matter what I say, you were gonna hate regardless.
Yeah, I feel like anyone that I've met, whether they're in my circle or just someone I've done a video with, I'm in touch with a lot of these people still, and like people want me to come back. I feel like I treat people like I let people see a copy of the video before I post it. So like the certified trapper video, how many blurs are in that video? I went to that guy's house like 3 times okay, now we got to blur this. Now we got to blur that. So I feel like I do good business by people. I treat people fairly. I'm very kind to people.
I think in your videos you do stay very biased, and like you keep your own opinions. You don't let like your environment change your opinion. Like if somebody's doing something you feel like it's fucked up, you're like, oh, it's kind of fucked up. Yeah. But obviously people think you're supposed to go in there and be like, hey, you stopped. You're not fucking Superman. You're not fucking Clark.
That's not your job.
That's not your job. You're there just to document and be part of it and just immerse yourself in it. So
you live around the corner. So it's like I feel like that should nix everything. It's like I live around the corner. Like this is my city. I might not live on the same block as them, but this is still my city. And Milwaukee's pretty small. You can get from one side to the other.
Is there anything you guys would have done differently if you were me filming that documentary?
I wouldn't have filmed it. I wouldn't have filmed it. That's just something like
it would have been. I think
but you're good at that though. You made like me. I would have just been like either halfway through it, like, bro, I can't do this, bro. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, that's just like where I grew up from. Where I grew up, like you grew up somewhere different. Like where I grew up, like we never record anything. Like you just don't. Nobody pulls out a camera for nothing.
You can't.
Like you can't. You literally can't because your cousin might got a warrant out for his arrest. You didn't posted something on your story like, oh, he in Pontiac. Let's go get him.
That's another thing I've learned doing these videos is like giving these guys a heads up. Because not in any of my videos have I ever said, hey guys, bring guns out and bring whatever drugs you have on you and show them to the camera. I never, not even once. Actually, it fucking hurts me. Like the Phoenix video that I put out, I'm getting like fucking $2 from a video that has 700,000 views because they had fucking submachine guns in there. And I did not, so like going forward, I'm just going to tell these rappers, no guns. I don't need to see your, I don't ask for any of that stuff. But that's just, people want to show out, and that's how they do it.
But that's what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a dumbass cousin. If you went to go record him, right, and he a rapper, he a good rapper. But if you went to go record him, he'll pull out his guns, and all his boys will pull out his guns. But in a sense, they saying, "Oh, why you go record him and put their guns out?" What you don't know, go look at their Instagram story.
Yeah,
they got their guns all the time.
The beam right on the gun. They just got 69 followers. You happen to have 600,000. So it's just like. It's like that difference is like, is it your fault that when you recorded, you had all this stuff?
Yeah. Also, that was my first real documentary. And since in that last 10 months, I've grown so much. And I still have a lot of growing to do. So, I don't know. Overall, I know I'm happy I got that story out. Mm-hmm. I do think it's important. I do think that we need to do something about it. I also think that there needs to be kind of more experimental options than just lock people away or do nothing. Like I feel like there's got to be a happy medium that helps these kids.
Is there a YouTube video that you shot that never made it to YouTube?
Yeah, I did this surviving for 48 hours in the woods where we only ate stuff in the woods. We built our shelter by hand and we couldn't use our phone for 48 hours. And it was really tough. Like we were eating roots. We were like boiling roots in a pot of water, eating bugs. But the camera footage didn't work out. So that's...
Did you spend the full 48 hours?
And we paid a survival expert to be there with us.
Damn. No, that's crazy. Like, I hate the white-black thing. That's some white-ass shit. I know. For you to have a camera and all that talent you have, I'm glad. I like the future content you got going. You don't need that shit. That's a little bit too white.
Okay. What would you say of the videos I've done? Like, what to use? Like, that's the shit you need to be doing.
The dude that's the safari dude, whatever, that's gonna wrestle the hog, that's gonna be fucking fire. You're gonna be fire at that. You're really good at like asking questions. So I feel like you need to go to people that might be like not as verbal because these people aren't ever going to put out anything that like
captures their real personality.
Yeah. So like somebody like that dude's probably was never going to be behind in front of a camera.
Dude, and some rappers, you really have to get them going because like the amount of times like, you know what I'm saying and shit, and you know what I'm saying, I'm like, we got the you know what I'm saying part, but let's get more into it.
I see that a lot in like a lot of the No Jumper interviews when they do interview rappers. Sometimes like you have to really steer them into a different conversation, and then I think the thing you do a good job of is like asking different type of questions that never been asked before, because that's the thing that can start bringing out stories that they might have like never told and stuff like that too.
Some of these niggas be rapping so good because they've been rapping since the 7th grade. They stopped doing their homework. Like all he been doing is rapping, so he don't know how to talk. Good as fuck.
Oh man,
nigga don't even know what a comma is.
How many of your videos get demonetized? Because obviously you have guns, weed, and all this other shit, and you get a lot of views on your videos.
A lot of my biggest videos are demonetized.
Like red or yellow?
Yellow, but with this like. Again, with like the pimps and prostitute one, that one just hit 1 million in like 3 days. I think I'm getting like $150.
Sheesh.
So like, but like another thing is like, I'm gonna get more serious about sponsorships. Like part of me is like, fuck, like I don't want to do any of it. But part of me is like, I want to put out the best shit I can. But how do I do a fucking sponsorship? After we talk to this prostitute, let's tell you about Athletic Greens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do
I mean, there's the blue chews. There's like the risky ones out there.
If you reach out to them, I guarantee you at least have one for sure. The blue.
I think you just gotta find those sponsors that kind of align.
But is that ethically wrong while you're talking to a woman that's fucking getting 100% of her profit taken by a pimp, and then be like interrupting with an ad break? I guess you have to do it the right way, but I feel weird.
Nah, I'd be like, that's a good interruption.
Or put it like, make it comedic.
Right. I'm sorry. I guess like sometimes I'm not sensitive enough to the shit because I grew up around it. But like somebody being a prostitute and I'm like hearing your story is like sometimes I can't feel crazy bad. Like, okay, if you were 16 and your mom put you out, some dude took over your life, manipulated you, like damn. Man, that's fucked up.
Got you hooked on drugs.
Yeah, got you hooked on drugs. I mean, I feel you. But, you know, you was interviewing one girl. She's like, yeah, I got both parents.
And I just want a bag. I just want a purse. Or
just like, oh, so you just fucking for fun.
You're doing a $150 anal until you get a Michael Kors purse? Like, isn't there another option
That's what I'm saying. That's some weird-ass goals. You never wanted real estate, nothing?
That's the easiest way. Like, when people, because I know a lot of people that I went to school with, and they start an OnlyFans. And I'm like, nothing's wrong with OnlyFans. You get your money, you get your money.
Nah, there's something wrong with that shit. Some hoes. No, there's definitely something wrong with OnlyFans.
If you knew you could make $50K a month having sex with hot people,
or your boyfriend.
Huh?
Your boyfriend.
Whoa.
Whoa. As a female.
as a female, would you fuck your boyfriend? Oh, no.
Nigga, made me homosexual, then changed my gender. Matter of fact, nigga, you a girl.
All right. You've all been waiting for the 100th episode. Pat is now transitioning.
Nah, that'd be crazy.
He is now Patricia.
Nah, that'd be crazy. But yeah, they some hoes. I like I get it though.
They hoes, but they pay hoes.
That's what I get. Okay.
They're not, how they hoes if they're fucking their boyfriend.
This is why you a hoe. I don't care. If you start no, listen, if you start OnlyFans,
we're gonna have an OnlyFans person on this podcast.
Listen, if you start OnlyFans, you're not a hoe yet. Right? If you go through OnlyFans for like a month or two and you ain't made no money and you still going, you a hoe.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Time to get out now. And I don't get why people get like I feel like the same people that get fully naked and have sex, if they would
you keep your shoes on or something?
Socks. But if they were to like you know how Iggy Azalea doing it?
Yeah.
Kind of she show her I seen pictures of her, she's showing her boobs a little bit. She's showing that. Obviously it's Iggy Azalea, but she getting some money off of it. And I feel like if you can get money that way first, then why not do it? Like, how's your first video you on a fucking banana with a condom on it? Like, how this the first one? Like, because you gonna test the waters a little bit.
Some people
then you find out you broke, and then now that video lives forever because Robert downloaded that shit.
Some people just not attractive though. Like as far as like watching them have sex. So, I mean,
that's where you find out. Huh? That got to be heartbreaking. Like you never see it. Like if you on Tinder, you like, damn, they ad must not be working. OnlyFans, like, damn, I made 2 cents. I was fully naked. To be fully naked and not make any money, man.
I've heard the people
Better
that
help.
make
No, I'm playing.
the people that make the most money on OnlyFans usually have a team of people that are replying to the messages because that is the interaction.
Yeah.
Like that, you think these guys think they're getting a real relationship with so and so they're like, oh, honey, you want to see more? And then it's like $100 markup, and so like there's people in India that are fucking like have these pre-written messages that the OnlyFans people wrote out, and they're just feeding the leads, and that's how a lot of the money is made.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga talking to Rupert and shit.
I have a friend that is pretending to be bisexual and he does like 20 grand a month off of OnlyFans.
Nah, nigga gay. He gay. No, he gay.
Nah, if you pretend to be gay, then that's still gay.
He has a beautiful girlfriend, but his TikTok persona is a little bit fruity.
Oh, you bisexual?
Yeah,
It's okay.
he's bisexual.
Like,
He's like
tell
that.
him it's okay. Like
You can't act good
That's-
bisexual.
I'll send you the link. You can watch it yourself.
nah, I'm good. Oh, you saw it?
No, but I think he said the banana idea was going to happen.
No. It's cool, bro.
Oh man.
So after you made your first $7 purchase of my bisexual friend's OnlyFans, how did your life change?
Hey, you said he bisexual. That's the start. See? There you go. Now you know. He watching this shit like I'm not. No, I'm not.
Well, anyway, Tommy G, thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Again, we don't know where this might be the middle of the podcast. This might be a whole episode itself. I feel like we're gonna you're gonna be back on the podcast.
I would love to.
A regular occurrence if you want, obviously.
When the clan initiates me, I'll
Nah.
come back and do it.
We also want to do a video with you and go. I think.
Pause.
Wait. This is after the.
Are we still talking about OnlyFans?
No.
Bananas.
I mean, if the price is right, I'm just saying. But we also want to do a video with you, like one of those crazy, like especially like it's like working on the front. I don't think I want to do the in the hood video because I think it's different when
Nigga not trying to go to it. When you grow up in the hood, the worst thing you do is go to another nigga hood.
Right. But if like maybe being a garbage man for a day or the life of a Amish person, definitely.
We'll all wear overalls and have a great time.
Definitely
That'd be
invite
dope.
us, and we definitely would do the video. So
Remember, the farmer has to be black. I'm not working for a white farmer.
nah, he can be white.
How many fucking black farmers do you think we have in Wisconsin?
Where?
Gotta be one. His name Reggie. And he blind in one eye and shit. Nigga always say to the right. Nigga, you got one eye. Nigga.
All right, this has been episode 100 or bonus episode. We don't know yet.
We don't know. Eat a
Of
dick.
Crash. We'll holler at y'all.
Subscribe to my bisexual OnlyFans. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, subscribe to Tommy G. Even though he has like 10 times as many subscribers on YouTube, but he also has a podcast that he just launched. You can plug that real quick.
If you want to hear me talk to people like mafia hitman, UFC fighters, LAPD detectives, come to my show. We'll love to take you on a journey.
What's it called? The Tommy G Show?
The Tommy G Show. Very clever
Very
and
clear,
creative.
very
Put
simple.
the link will be below.
If I remember. No, I got it. All right, peace.